The all-new 22 Civic, now on sale at Team Honda on Siegen Lane.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Buggs Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your world since the last opportunity we had to spend a little time with you roughly 24 hours ago. Well, the CDC COVID merry-go-round continues. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, I wonder when we're going to, Marty, have to start calling it the CDCP. Different show for a different day. But they've now reversed course with masks mandates regarding COVID-19 and whether or not you've been vaccinated or not, apparently in their eyes, is not the determining factor, and out of what I can only view as an abundance of caution, now recommending that we return to wearing masks indoors regardless of vaccination status. Here in Louisiana, Governor John Bel Edwards weighing in on this, encouraging people to wear their masks indoors regardless of vaccination status, and also adding that most state employees may be required to wear masks in a news conference late last week. The governor warned that additional measures may be announced later if the situation worsens. This is unsettling news for many, particularly as we start zeroing in on the start of school here in Louisiana and across the country, for that matter. Many school districts find themselves now in a holding pattern, for lack of a better phrase, as a result of this CDC backtracking on masks. It is, depending on where you live, something that is completely in a state of flux. Other school districts have already targeted certain time frames as far as when they will make an official decision on what they do. For example, here in EBR, no changes currently to the guidelines for masks in schools, but they plan to make a final decision by August 3rd. Livingston Parish, no decision just yet. They're hoping to make a decision before the August 5th school board meeting. Point Capee, Masks are recommended but not required based on state guidelines. St. Helena, masks will be required indoors based on guidance from the CDC. For our friends over in Tangipahoa Parish, masks not mandatory unless, of course, state guidelines change. Just to the west of us, West Baton Rouge, a decision expected to be made as soon as July 28th. In the gorgeous Felicianas, West Feliciana particularly, masks will be required on buses but only recommended in classrooms. Obviously, as we get closer and closer to all of these anticipated deadlines, then these individuals that are tasked with running the school systems are going to have to make a decision one way or the other. Meanwhile, another sort of institution here in Louisiana, state prisons are now making adjustments as far as their inmates are concerned, and particularly for those of us that have friends, relatives, loved ones that are incarcerated and visit them regularly. The Department of Corrections announcing yesterday that they have a new policy in effect in Louisiana for the 8 state-run prisons until August the 16th. They have put a stop to visitations and volunteers as we work our way again through this latest surge. A spokesman for the department says that they will still offer inmates 2 phone calls and video calls for free. Currently, as it stands right now, some 68% of inmates are vaccinated, and they are offering vaccinations to inmates for free. What may be the strangest story associated with all of this, the Delta variant, the rise in cases, and the responses therein. The strangest one that I've heard comes out of right here in Baton Rouge, where it was announced yesterday that at least one judge here in East Baton Rouge Parish is offering some folks that are on probation and those that have been ordered to perform community service, if they get the COVID-19 vaccination, they will have their community service order lifted. Judge Fred T. Cravassi, according to court records obtained by the ABC affiliate here in Baton Rouge, WBRZ Channel 2, he has allowed at least 2 different people the option to either take the vaccine or finish out the remainder of their community service hours. The documents show that one of those offenders owed some 33 hours of public service, community service, and was allowed to skip those remaining hours in exchange for getting the shot. It is something that you might imagine, depending on what side of the political ideology you fall on. Some people agree with, others don't. It is akin, in the minds of some people, to the government using undue coercion to get individuals to take something into their bodies that they normally wouldn't. Of course, now, on the other hand, you could probably, conceivably, make the argument that it's not really that different from an individual that has found himself or herself in court for drug or alcohol related offenses, and they are then ordered by the court to take certain medications that if you drink, alcohol after taking this medication, you get violently ill. You could conceivably make the argument that it is in no way, shape, or form any more egregious than chemical castration. I will leave to you to decide ultimately whether it's a good thing, a bad thing, whether it is government overreach or simply government doing what government should do to mitigate the spread of the virus. It is strange times in which we live when we find ourselves holding vaccine lotteries, giving away millions of dollars to encourage folks to do something that many of us feel in our constitutional heart of hearts is a serious overreach. It is strange days indeed when you have the option, at least in one court, of either performing a community service or taking the jab. If ever you thought that it was not a different day, if ever you thought, Clarence, y'all in the media, y'all just gin up all this stuff about how crazy times are. Well, if this doesn't tell you, I don't know what I can do to help alleviate that. I just don't know. All I can recommend is that you as an individual do your own due diligence. Listen, y'all, there is no excuse whatsoever nowadays for you not being informed. You realize we walk around every single day, and in our pockets, in our pocketbooks, in our pants pockets, we have a device that allows us to instantaneously access all the knowledge that the species has combined throughout our existence. There is no excuse for you relying solely on CNN, ABC, CBS, MSLSD, and all these other folks. There's no excuse for you succumbing to that. That's just pure laziness. And at the end of the day, no one, nor should anyone, care as much about protecting you and yours as you should. I mean, how many examples do we have to have before we realize that those in government many times aren't nearly as concerned about our well-being as they pretend? Just saying. Just saying. First break of today's show. They keep coming so hard and heavy that it's almost impossible, Marty, to do it just on one day. So when we come back, no, not that's just stupid, although it is stupid, racism alert when we come back. Continuing today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club.
a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Go where summer leads you in an award-winning Mazda CUV. Find yours during Mazda's season of discovery.
Call, click, or come by and discover your new Mazda today at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
You're invited to the Bridal Show of the Future, a new twist on the typical bridal expo. Come out to experience the food, dancing, meet and greet, wedding event professionals, and win fantastic prizes. Friday, August 6th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. To purchase tickets, please visit thepostbridalshowgonzales.com or follow on Instagram. All proceeds benefiting the VFW Post 3693 of Gonzales. Support your local veterans.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. Inside joke, y'all. Inside joke. That's between Marty and yours truly. You know, it's a sad commentary. The amount of time, energy, and effort that politicians, the media, and others with an agenda want us to spend on issues of race. What is so disheartening to me as an American is in my heart of hearts, and I could be 180 degrees away from the truth on this, but it's what my heart tells me and my everyday life experience. My heart tells me, and my life experience, that if you across this country today walk up randomly to, 1,000 people and ask them in the last week, month, year, 5 years, how many absolutely horrible instances have you had with someone who is a different color than you are just because of skin color? Walk up randomly to 1,000 Americans and ask them, when's the last time you had a really, really ugly episode with someone of a different color, and it stemmed from the fact primarily, if not exclusively, that you all had different skin colors? My gut, my heart, my life experience tells me the overwhelming majority of this 1,000 random Americans you interact with, the overwhelming majority of us would tell you, I really haven't had any. May have had, a couple here or there, but, in a nation of 350 plus million people, you're always going to have a couple of idiots. That goes without saying. And that's not exclusive to race. We have stupid that comes in all forms, fashions, races, creeds, and colors. And typically, the more people harp on certain things, the more insane the conversation becomes. For example, right next door in the Lone Star State, the great state of Texas, there's a group of social justice activists that call themselves Dallas Justice Now. This week, they put out a press release and have been sending letters to people in an independent school district there, asking, quote, wealthy white liberals to not send their children to Ivy League schools in order to leave those schools open for students of color. The group issued a pledge calling on, quote, white liberals and allies of the Black Lives Matter movement to keep slots open at the most expensive elite institutions for applicants who might not otherwise qualify. They sent out a letter. Let me read you some of this. As a white person with privilege, both from my whiteness and my neighborhood, I recognize the need to make sacrifices for the purpose of correcting hundreds of years of murder, slavery, discrimination, and lack of educational and economic opportunities perpetuated upon people of color. I understand that access to top schools is a key component in economic and social advancement. Therefore, I commit that my children will not apply to or attend any Ivy League school or U.S. News and World Report Top 50 school, so that positions at that school will be available for people of color to help correct historical wrongs. If I do not have children under 18, then I will commit to encouraging my white privileged friends, neighbors, and family members, Marty, that's you, with children to sign the pledge, holding them accountable until they do so. Imagine, it continues, if those hundreds of thousands of spots at these institutions were occupied only by marginalized communities. Imagine the opportunities we can achieve through true equity within our lifetimes, but only if white folks are willing to sacrifice their privileges. It goes on to say, we are writing to you because we understand you're white and live within the Highland Park Independent School District and thus benefit from enormous privileges taken at the expense of communities of color. You live in the whitest and wealthiest neighborhood in Dallas. Whether you know it or not, you earned or inherited your money through oppressing people of color. Here's another rub in this story. We understand that there are some racist voices who are opposed to this pledge. One racist who has attempted to harass our supporters in an attempt to distract from the fact that she doesn't want to make a single sacrifice to remedy injustices that face our city. You know, if you listen to people and read between the lines, you can find out the true agenda. What these people, Dallas Justice Now, what they are attempting to do is so belittling to other schools, and particularly HBCUs, that it's racist beyond belief. Southern University, a school that I love, is responsible for more generals in the United States Army than any other college of color in America, maybe anyone, period. More attorneys of color graduate from the Southern University Law Center than any other HBCU. So you're telling me that you don't think an individual who earns a degree from an HBCU or any other school that's not Ivy League is not as good as or as important as someone at an Ivy League school. All you have to do is just listen to people and figure out, is there some agenda here? Now listen, y'all, I get it. I've been doing this long enough to know that in some form or fashion, everybody has an agenda. I got one. I make no bones about it. My agenda is I want my country to continue to be the greatest country that God has ever placed on this earth. My agenda, pure and simple, is for government to stay the hell out of the way of the American people and let the American people take care of themselves and rise to whatever challenges we may face. That's my agenda. And I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem telling anybody about it. But the difference between us and y'all, liberals, if you don't like my agenda, you don't want to follow my agenda, then so be it. You're an American, you have that right. The difference is you liberals, when you don't agree with it, you want to cancel it. See, the difference between us and y'all, us conservatives, y'all liberals, we understand as an American, if you don't believe in God, that's your right. I ain't mad at you. Feel sorry for you. I'll pray for you, but that is what that is. Liberals, on the other hand, want to remove God from every freaking thing on the planet. Conservatives, we lose a job, well, we're going to look for another one. We'll start our own business. Y'all liberals, you want somebody else to pay for it. There are very stark dividing lines between the two. And it's amazing, those that try to push certain agendas, they typically are the ones that are the most detrimental to you and our fellow Americans. Of course, now, we are talking politicians, we are talking the media, and in case you haven't learned by now, these folk really don't care as much about you as they'd like you to believe. Bottom of the hour break. We'll get this out of the way, come back and talk more with you, right where you've got it, on today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Buggs Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. Were you able to hear? Has it helped any in that regard, Marty? Huh? Talking to me? Huh? White people can't get good help anyway, man. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You know, you have heard me say over the years, with increasing anguish, how easily and recklessly it is to fall into the trap of opium. Not OPIUM, the narcotic. OPM, other people's money. When you have pretty much an unlimited access to other people's money, very seldom, if ever, are you responsible with it. You realize the largest employer in this country is the federal government. Let that sink in. And of course, as you've heard me say before, government has no money. The federal government does not produce a single good or service that they can put in a can on a shelf for you to buy and turn a profit. The only money that the federal government has is the money that they derive from reaching their grubby little fingers into every freaking paycheck you make and extracting some. Now, let me say for the record, there are certain things government is obligated for. Promote the general welfare, provide for the common defense. In the words of my esteemed president, you know the thing. You're going to hear in the near future, as the Democrats attempt to rescue the infrastructure plan, you're going to hear, well, we need this because it will generate X amount of jobs, and y'all complaining about the economy, we need to get it back open, and yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Well, first of all, y'all, if you think back not so very long ago, there was a term during the Obama administration called shovel-ready jobs. Y'all remember that farce, that fiasco? If you give us X amount of dollars, we've got these shovel-ready jobs that we can put Americans to work with these good-paying jobs. How'd that work out for us? But I digress. Moody's Analytics took a look recently at the so-called infrastructure plan and the amount of jobs that the Biden White House claims they will produce over the next 10 years if you give them trillions more dollars of your money. Moody's Analytics took a look at the numbers, and they've come to the conclusion the federal government, for the jobs that they claim this infrastructure package will produce, the federal government will spend $225,000 to create each freaking job. You heard me right. To create, quote, a job. Just give me the freaking money. Better yet, how about just give me $100,000? I'll do you a favor. You can keep the other $125,000 and we can create twice as many jobs. $225,000 to create every single job. Of course, now, this is government. Here's another one that'll make your taxpayer blood boil. Here's another. As you, I'm sure, are aware, we are in the midst of beating a hasty retreat in Afghanistan. Okay? It was revealed, I'm going to say 3 days ago, millions and millions upon millions of dollars of American military equipment was being left in Afghanistan for their army to continue fighting the Taliban. Well, yeah, Clarence, we got to defeat the Taliban. They're terrorists. We can't have these people running around doing all the stuff, chopping people's heads off and putting the videos on the internet. We got to do something about these people. The Taliban, knowing we're leaving, since we thought it would be a good idea to tell the enemy when we're packing up and leaving, the Taliban has been taking over stuff in Afghanistan like it's 40 going north. So what is our response here in the last week been? Y'all gonna love this one. This is how government thinks with your money. They decided, okay, we can't afford to have the Taliban get this American military equipment and use it against other people. So how do we stop this? Oh, I know. Let's take drones and blow up the American military equipment that we're leaving in Afghanistan. Are you freaking kidding me? So wait a minute. Let me get this straight. You think it makes perfect sense to take American taxpayer dollars, pay for military equipment, ship it halfway around the freaking planet to fight terrorism, Taliban, tribalism, the whole nine. And when you, knowing that you're going to be withdrawing, when you don't take the equipment with you, your solution is to take more American taxpayer dollars and blow up military equipment paid for with American taxpayer dollars. Really? Well, I know what we could do. We could take some bombs and blow up the bombs that we left over there. Of course, now, in retrospect, Clarence, why are you upset? These are the same people that we caught, how many decades ago, spending $600 for a freaking toilet seat? Why are you so upset, Clarence? You know these people don't have any compunction at all about wastefully spending other people's money. The solution to make sure that this American military equipment does not fall into the wrong hands is to spend more taxpayer dollars to blow up the American military equipment that American taxpayers paid for, that American taxpayers footed the bill to fly it to Afghanistan, and now you are going to take more taxpayer dollars to blow it up. Now you know why. You hear us conservatives say the scariest sentence on the planet is, quote, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." Do you think, and this is rhetorical because we already know the answer. You don't have to answer. We already know the answer. But just humor me. Do you think they would do it differently if they had to go in their own pocket and pay for it? Just a little something that'll make you go, huh. The largest employer by far and away in the entire United States of America is the federal government. So I guess it pretty much just stands to reason that they would also be the people that waste the most money of anybody in America. We're pulling out of Afghanistan. We're going to leave y'all this military equipment. Oh, wait, crap, the Taliban is taking over. Well, I guess we're going to have to blow it up. Now, it would be different if they took their salaries and paid for the bombs to blow up the military equipment. But that ain't how this rodeo works, Hoss. It's your money. Well, at least it used to be. Some of y'all ain't gonna get that till later, but that's okay as long as you get it. Final break of today's show. We'll come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and we wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
invited to the bridal show of the future, a new twist on the typical bridal expo. Come out to experience the food, dancing, meet and greet, wedding event professionals, and win fantastic prizes. Friday, August 6th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. To purchase tickets, please visit thepostbridalshowgonzales.com or follow on Instagram. All proceeds benefiting the VFW Post 3693 of Gonzales. Support your local veterans.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back for the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. You know, if there is any, and you all please accept this in the spirit that it's given, if there's any silver lining to lockdowns and all that we've been subjected to behind COVID-19, is that it has forced us to take a serious introspective look at certain things. For example, many businesses, through no fault of their own, as a result of lockdowns, have come up with more ingenious, efficient ways of doing business. Secondly, as a result of children being forced into a virtual learning environment, we are now, maybe more so than any time since the generation of baby boomers, we are more acutely aware of what our children are being taught. You know, it's a sad commentary, the number of people that, after staying home because of lockdowns, taking part in the virtual education of their children, the number of people who are aghast over what's being taught to our children in classrooms. It is a most serious wake-up call, because obviously, and this is no earth-shaking revelation to any of you, typically what is instilled in a child in their formative years, outside of parental influence, does more to shape that individual for life than anything else. I don't want to get into the whole conversation, debate, whatever, about teachers in years past versus teachers today. I'm sure, as is the case with any occupation, back in my day, there were good teachers and there were bad teachers, just like today. I'm sure There are good teachers and bad teachers. But when you have a curriculum that is agenda-driven, even the best of teachers can only do so much. It is encouraging in the midst of all we've found out over the last number of months about what is being taught to our children in public schools. It's encouraging to see the number of people all across this country that are now standing up to this foolishness and demanding that it stop. The number of people that now have decided, you know what, I thought my life was too busy, but I got to run for this school board seat because this is crap what they're putting on our kids in school. The number of people now that had never before taken the time out of their daily lives to go to a meeting to protest what a school board is doing or a school superintendent or a school system, it's encouraging. Yes, it's sad that we allowed it to get to that point, but at the end of the day, better late than never. Again, reverting to the back in my day / get off my lawn syndrome, I make no bones about it, and I will never be apologetic for the fact that when I was in school, PTA night, well, there was the obvious dread that went on among the students, but there was also a custodial staff that was in a state of panic. You know, tonight's PTA night, oh man, that's right. Geez, we got to start rounding up chairs to put in the back of classrooms. We need to fill the gymnasium up. You know how many people are going to be showing up to talk with the teachers and the administrators about their kids' education. Talk to parents in a whole lot of public schools these days and ask them, what's it like on PTA night? PT what? PT who? PT where? That's what we're dealing with. And if you doubt the authenticity of my feeling encouraged about what parents in this country are doing, as we hopefully are now on the downstroke of COVID, there's been an 11% increase across the country in the number of parents that are saying one of two things. Either, you know what? I can do a better job teaching my kid than what these folks are doing. Or, secondly, I can't believe they're teaching my kid this foolishness. Oh, hell no, I'm not paying for this. I'll do it myself. That, my friends, is the truest expression of the American spirit that you will ever encounter. They're not these courageous, patriotic parents. They're not going to spend another moment beating their head against the wall, screaming in protest. They're not going to spend another minute bemoaning what these people are teaching their children in public schools. Instead, you know what they're doing? They are making the sacrifice to do it themselves. Now, I will leave to you to decide what it says about us as a country that parents feel the need to have to do this. I will let you be the ultimate arbiter of what the truth is behind that. But it's encouraging to me to see Americans say, you know what? At least for the time being, I still live in a country where I've got the freedom to do it myself. I still live in a country where if I am willing to make the sacrifice, I can ensure a better future for my children. And if I am willing to do whatever it takes to get her done, I can get her done. Say what you will about this country, good or bad, right or wrong, fair or unfair. There's no place like it, y'all. And please, in the vernacular of the streets, don't get it twisted. We should never stop trying to be better. The whole purpose of this existence, my opinion only, other than to glorify God, is to leave an existence that is better for our children than we had. That's the whole purpose behind all of this. But that can only happen when each of us, as Americans, decides to pick up the yoke of freedom, pick up the yoke of personal accountability and responsibility, and bear it for ourselves. Not expecting to shove it off on someone else, not expecting the government to pick up the mantle, but simply doing for ourselves. And for those of you that think, Clarence, you're asking a whole lot, man. With all the stuff we got going on these days, I don't know if we can do all that. We did it before. And it served us pretty darn well. How it is you think we have arrived at where we are without it is beyond me. Of course, now, if you spend your time listening to the media and the politicians, well, you get what you get. You heard me say yesterday, liberals / Democrats / progressives operate under the mantra these days, everything's racist and everything gonna kill you. I beg to differ. And it is my sincere hope that my fellow Americans will prove them wrong, starting from this day forward. Whether or not that will happen, God only knows. But hey, can't blame a guy for wishful thinking, can you? 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Bayou Smokehouse, the home of old school barbecue, where you never know who you're going to meet when you walk through the door. Podcast. Uncle Roy, everybody's favorite crazy uncle, doing his podcast today. Kevin Gallagher, woohoo, in the house again. Come on by. They'd love to see your smiling face, get some great barbecue with some great people in a great atmosphere. My time's up, y'all, and I got to go. And this day, just like any other, I give it to you. You're right. America, we ain't perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And you know I do too. Then again, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.